In a stunning reversal, Donald Trump now claims that Ukraine can reclaim all its territory from Russia. What changed? And could this be a game changer in the war? Trump's shift. On September 24, 2025, President Donald Trump stunned the world by declaring that Ukraine could win back all its land from Russia. This marks a dramatic shift from his previous stance, where he suggested that Ukraine might need to cede some territory to Russia. Then, the shift in position. Trump said, "I think Ukraine, with the support of the EU, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form." He even hinted that Ukraine might go beyond its original borders, although he didn't elaborate further. Quite the contrast to his earlier remarks that Ukraine couldn't defeat Russia without a change in strategy. Why this matters. But why the sudden shift? Trump has been at odds with his allies, especially after his peace talks attempt with Vladimir Putin earlier this year, which left many stunned. Trump's frustration with Putin seems to have reached its peak after an Alaska summit failed to deliver results, followed by escalating Russian attacks. The economic angle. Trump also pointed to Russia's deteriorating economy, claiming, "Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and this is the time for Ukraine to act." Russia's economic struggle, according to Trump, is a crucial opportunity for Ukraine to push back. NATO and EU support. But here's where it gets complicated. Trump isn't pledging direct U.S. intervention. Trump's comments seem like a compliment to Ukraine's potential, suggesting that with NATO and EU support, they could reclaim all their territory. However, the underlying message might be seen as a subtle shift of responsibility, implying that the burden of Ukraine's victory now rests more with NATO and the EU rather than with direct U.S. involvement. In calling on NATO countries to shoot down Russian jets that violate their airspace, he added, "Good luck to all," signaling that he may want to wash his hands of direct U.S. involvement while still pushing NATO to do more. The criticism. This sudden pivot has some critics concerned. Is Trump merely using Ukraine's situation to blame his predecessor, Joe Biden, for the ongoing conflict? Or is this a calculated political move, distancing himself from an unpopular war while still asserting influence? Zelensky's response. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has praised Trump's comments, calling them a big shift in the right direction. But with Russia continuing to press on the Eastern Front, will Ukraine be able to push back? And can NATO really shoulder the burden without the U.S. taking a more direct role? So what do you think? Is Trump's stance a bold strategy for Ukraine's success or just political posturing? Drop your thoughts below.